note said get out.
That's what it's saying. Okay.
That's when you shoot me.
Good to see you. Let me holler at my friends. Good to see you.
Lord have mercy. And what is that? Yeah, he's supposed to be here. He better be here because he told me he needs to be here. How you doing, baby? You just beautiful, baby.
If you're wondering, it was Advent.
Thank you, baby.
I was at the first Presbyterian church for Advent Noel, followed by their lunch for 3 weeks, and then I was over at the Church of the Holy Cross for their Advent soup that they were doing shopping. I decided I was going to get back to that after I had the conference last year. Well, I was going to get back here, but everybody got worried. I just told them not to worry. I wanted to be back in Advent. Now you're No, actually, I was talking to somebody out there because I was really upset. I have a missing friend who's been missing since December 21st. I was with Ron. Well, hey, you won't believe how we became friends. One of our church members threw a paper airplane at Springs. I picked it up one time and right in front of Ron, I told the person, "You lost your little tinker toy." And Ron laughed, and then afterwards, he said, "Can I have my toy back?" I said, "I'll keep your toy." And Ron laughed so hard, he thought that I was really something else. So that's how we became friends. I want him to come here. If I was going to round out the year, it was going to be going to Advent. Advent over at the First Presbyterian Church for their Advent Noel, and then the ones to follow, and then over at the Church of the I'm doing okay. I just felt it would be good if I got to get back to what I was doing. Well, I just called the church, they gave me the date, and I wanted to be there. you could let everyone know that I came back from academy.
I just rung the phone. I said, "Yeah,
If she wants.
I gotta go out."
How you doing, Gary?
Yeah. No, I won't. I don't want to tell anybody. 'Cause, yeah, I have a prospective candidate. Prospective candidate in mind. It's been filled.
Right, thank you.
It's good. It was good. Tanya, we ready?
I'm good, man. How you doing? It's all right. That's what I'm talking about.
The Shreveport City Council meeting is now called to order. I will ask everybody to silence their phones, but please place them on vibrate. If Commissioner Stormy Watts can do us the honors and lead us in prayer. And I will ask Councilman Tyler Farrell to lead us in the pledge.
Madam President.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. If our hearts and minds are clear, let us pray. Oh God, how we humbly come before your throne of grace and mercy, Lord. Thanking you, God, for keeping us up into this very hour. God, we thank you, Lord, that you have given us yet another opportunity, God, to do your will in this season. God, I thank you for the leaders that are standing before us, oh God. I ask, Father God, that you would continue to cultivate their minds, God, continue to stir up the gifts, God, for your glory. I thank you, God, that they will make the best decisions on behalf of the citizens of Shreveport, Louisiana. God, and I ask, Father God, that you would touch all of our citizens right now, God, for whatever they stand in need of, God. We know that you are well able. We love you. We wouldn't dare do this without you. We thank you. Thank God in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All face the flag of the greatest country on earth, and as we say our pledge, let us be mindful of the sacrifices of our MIAs and POWs. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Taylor.
Present.
Councilman Brooks.
Here.
Councilman Taylor Farrell.
Here, ma'am.
Councilman Butcher. Councilman Jackson.
I'm here.
Councilman Green.
I'm here.
And Councilwoman Bowman.
Present.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the Administrative Conference meeting and the City Council meeting Tuesday, December 19, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Taylor. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
It's not coming up?
Yes. No.
That passed
Councilwoman-
with 7.
6.
6, I'm
Six and one
sorry.
out.
I'm sorry.
It's December 19th.
Does any council members have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Green?
I have one of them already in the chamber. I'm looking for the other one to come in. Miss Rhonda Phillips. Yes, ma'am. Floor's yours.
Hi, as our Councilman Green has already said, I'm Rhonda Phillips, and I'm here with Justice Jackie's Jewels. We're excited because we're back again to announce that we are kicking off our free community events that will take place. The first one will be on Saturday, March the 8th at Councilman Jackson's District E over at A.B. Palmer Park. We are asking everyone to come out and support us. We are every 3 months going in, bringing in services to the community. We're always feeding close to 200 people or more. We're providing job opportunities. Target is one of those that come out on a regular basis. Walmart. We have our military that participates with us. And we are blessed to be able to bring in speakers that have come out of the various communities whose lives may not have been the best, but they've taken what was rough and turned it around. Our speaker for this event is none other than Dr. Letitia Scott Jackson. If you're from the Cedar Grove area, you may have known her as Chucky. And God has really turned her life around. So we want you to come out and support us, and we look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Pastor Boykins.
Thank you guys for allowing me to speak for just a second. We were coming today to ask, have there been any, have they placed on the agenda the 369 East 70th Street, the liquor store, the pull-up number 5? And I wanted to know if I've missed it, because I've been looking for it to be on the agenda. I do speak for the citizens in our district. I have over 404 names that's been signed showing their interest in not having another liquor store in our area. That's on the corner of 70th Street and Fairfield. So have we been?
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Ms. Boykin, I may be mistaken, but Mr. Clark, it's not going to be on the agenda, is it? That was our concern originally. It's a use by right. So
Okay.
it won't be on the agenda.
Okay, so it won't be on the agenda even though that it's less than the 300 feet from property line to property
Mr. Clark,
line?
did you want to come up again and address this, please?
Okay. Because I thought that a couple of meetings ago that we said we were gonna look into it, into the ordinance being changed. If
But
I'm not
changing
mistaken.
the ordinance wouldn't affect this piece of property. If it's met all the requirements of the current ordinance, it's pretty much going to be grandfathered in. We'll be looking at changing the ordinance to make sure no other liquor stores are able to follow this current ordinance because it didn't allow the people to be able to speak on it.
But that's not what she's saying. What she's saying is that the measurements of the building, that there is a dispute between what the MPC has versus what Detective Bradley has when he comes out there. And the measurements show that is less than 300 feet. So the question then becomes for me is how was it granted? Until there is clarity on where the measurements take place. Do they take place from, the sidewalk all the way up to the building, or do they measure this? And so according to him, I think we need to have a conversation with Detective Bradley to see what his findings are and if they referred anything to the city attorney's office to understand what the ordinance actually says. Because if you look at it, I don't understand how they got a certificate of occupancy because there are houses around it, there are residents right behind it, and so that is right there less than what is prescribed in the ordinance.
Mr. Clark, can you explain to us where we are in the approval process? And then I will defer to the city attorney to see if there's any way to slow up that process, if there are any approvals that have not been granted just yet to get clarity on the measurements.
Yes, sir. There were 2 applications for liquor stores on West 70th Street, and they were like a block or 2 apart. One of them did not meet the measurements because it was too close to residents, and it was too close to a couple of churches. one did meet the measurements, and our measurements are as accurate as I think we can get because we do them by computer and not out there walking. And the second liquor store met the measurement of all the protected classes that there were. I went out to the site and looked myself, if I'm remembering correctly. There was a big parking lot behind where I think it was a used car lot. And that was all included in the measurements. And it was more than 200 feet from residential property. And we do measure from property line to property line.
Is there currently any dispute over the measurements currently right
I've
now?
never heard any dispute. I mean, we'd be happy to redo it and show the citizens exactly how we came to the conclusions that we did. But I knew that there were two liquor stores, and there was concerns about both of them, and one was eliminated, and one actually met the measurement.
If you would, can you bring those measurements to next council meeting so we'll be
Happy
clear?
to. I'll bring more down to show you exactly how they're happening.
We would ask Chief Wayne if he'll also ask Detective Bradley to come as well.
Mr. Clark, what is the official entity that does the measurements? Can you speak on that process? Who actually goes out and makes those measurements?
We measure from the computer. We have a program that does measurements that can, facilitate measurements, and it does accurate measurements. And we take the location of the proposed liquor store property line and measure back to where our side up front to where the nearest residential district line is. And in this one, because I felt just like this young lady felt, that I felt that it did not meet the measurements, and that's why I went out there. But in fact, it did meet the measurements, and that's why it was approved.
Is Chief here?
Mr. Clark, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. So you're saying when you went out there, somebody physically measured it, just not from a computer?
No one physically measured it. I went out there just to look and see, because I was thinking that there were houses behind this building and that they were less than 200 feet from the property line of this location. But once I went out there, and while I was out there, I was in conversations with the planners in the MPC office, and once we came to the realization that it did meet the measurements, that's where we stopped. But we told the other liquor store that it could not go there because it did not meet the requirements.
So,
Chief, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry again. So you came to the realization just by looking at it?
I mean, we had the measurements that had been done electronically. I just went out there to look around, because sometimes there are things that you don't see on the maps and so forth. So I drove out because I knew it was going to be concerns about the liquor store. I drove out, and while I was out there, we were doing a second measurement electronically, and it met the measurements. It was close, but it did meet the measurements.
So this is Councilman Brooks' district, but if I may, not doubting the validity of your measurements, Chief, do SPD, has anybody the power to measure? We just want a second opinion to make sure that it meets the guidelines of the ordinance. And if your guys can do that prior to the next meeting, we can compare notes and then try to put this resolution to bed.
Can I add one thing?
We use a mechanical device and actually walk the distance reading from the mechanical device because the state depends a lot on the recommendation that we make. For instance, for a liquor establishment, the state's guidelines are a little bit stricter than the city ordinance is. From school or church, they would actually go from that church's school's property line to the closest corner of the building of that liquor establishment, which makes it a lot more stringent than the city's going from
Come to the mic for me, Chief, please. Come to the mic.
Before I leave, can I just say one other thing?
Go ahead,
please?
Mr. Clark.
We provide the measurements for Shreveport Police in accordance with the state statute that established the protected uses, that a liquor store or the sale of liquor cannot be within 300 feet of a church, a school, a daycare, a public playground, etc. That's one measurement. But in order to get a liquor store, we had a whole lot more restrictions. And it's not in the city ordinance. And it's not done by Shreveport Police, or it's not done by the state. We added these stricter spacing requirements only for liquor stores.
I understand. The only thing that's in question is the measurement. So we just want a second pair of eyes to confirm that it meets the current ordinance.
Attorney Edwards, would you please provide this council a definition of premise, of a liquor store premise? What all does that entail? And I think that is something that we need to define as well. What's all considered the liquor store premises?
Yes, ma'am. We can absolutely talk about the definition of premises, property line. There's also a set of definitions, as was just indicated in the UDC, set of definitions and measurements.
Okay.
And there's a set of, and requirements, and a set of definitions, measurements, and requirements in the city ordinance, which is what SPD uses.
Right.
So there is, we are talking past each other a little bit.
Yes.
Because one entity is talking about a certificate of occupancy.
Yes.
Based upon the UDC, and the other entity is talking about a liquor license based upon the ordinances.
Correct.
And so I'm happy to sort of lay
Bridge
all that
that
out.
gap.
I can make it as clear as mud.
I appreciate that. There's
Thank
going to be
you.
a lot of clear mud.
And Chief, only thing I'm asking for is, like I said, just a second entity to measure according to the ordinance, to making sure that this liquor store does meet those measurement guidelines.
We actually use mechanical devices. We get out and walk the distance to totally be in compliance to make sure that there's no errors.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may. I'm not sure I'm not, because this is a very important issue, I'm not sure I'm very comfortable with we're doing software measurement and then we're asked to go and walk it off. If I want a calibrated measurement done, maybe it would be prudent to use some of our engineering staff actually to go out there and shoot it as if they were building a building or building a parking lot. And it just seems to me that that would be the most accurate way to solve or make a comparison between the software version and the human or the mechanical version, rather than, I don't know, rolling it off with a roll of tape or however they do it. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why in asking the city attorney to determine what is considered to be the premises. Is it from the store to the parking lot? Does it include the sidewalk? Because all of that is going to factor in to what the measurements are.
And then if they are discrepancies, now we got to get into what's the official measurement.
Correct.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
Once you define the premises, once you define the boundary lines, it's like going and surveying land. I would rather have a surveyor survey it than me out there walking it off.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and no disrespect to the police department, because I don't know what they use. That was just a suggestion.
Sorry again, Mr. Chairman. I think what Chairman Jackson is just saying, in the case that's this controversial, that we would just like a second opinion.
Correct.
On the distance. And what the definition of premises is.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So be it.
Due to the sake of time, I know there's a lot of elected officials and former elected officials in the audience. If y'all can just kind of stand and wave your hand to be acknowledged.
Introduce themselves.
Mr. Bradford,
Ms. Bradford, you didn't stand.
Why did you
Exactly.
sit down?
I appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Does any other council members have any awards, recognition of distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do. I don't think they're here, though. Is Lois Hughes here? No, then I don't.
Okay, we'll come back.
My other person didn't come today.
Mr. Mayor, do you have any awards recognition of distinguished guests not to exceed 15 minutes?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have any communication relative to city business?
Yes, sir. We have a report from the police department on the 2024 crime statistics.
Okay, thank you.
While they're coming, we also have Judge Jackie in the audience. Jackie, would you raise your hand?
Behind the column there.
Chief, you know the rules. If it's good, take your time. If it's bad, we need to speed on through.
You got 3 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had 3 minutes,
Okay.
Chief.
Okay, I'll roll through it very swiftly. We sent you earlier today an email version of it, and hopefully you had time to look at it, but if not, we provided you with a copy also. First is our calls for service for 2024. As you can see, in 2023, we had 16,554 calls for services, demand for service. This year in 24, last year was 15,687, a reduction of 3,375 demands for services. So things were down. And, we, in law enforcement, we look at the reduction of things, not necessarily as we've done such a great job, but in terms of things are getting better within our community. We look forward to arresting a lot less people, but keeping that trend going in a positive direction, as it is across our country, it appears. Homicides, next up, in 2023, we ended the year with 80. 2024, we ended the year with 52, 28 homicides less. And if there's one, there is too many. But we had a 35% reduction in our homicide rate for 24. Total arrests, as you can see, in 23, they were 5,669. In 24, 5,350. So less arrests were made, and crime is trending in a positive direction. Matter of fact, 319 less arrests last year than the year before. Shots fired calls. 2023, 3,002. 2024, 2,632. 370 less shots fired calls that were reported to us for that year. Shootings, these were actually someone was hit. In 2023, 318, 2024, 283, 35 less people that was actually shot in that year. Next, you'll see some felony statistics, some that, is quite interesting. Rapes, for one, in 2023, you see there was 127 reported to SPD, and 100 reported to us in 2024, so 27 less. Robberies, 206 reported to us in 2023, 156 in 2024, 50 less. Auto thefts, 2023, we had 1,237 automobiles stolen that was reported to us here in Shreveport. In 2024, 996, that equates to 241 less. Burglaries, now keep in mind these are business burglaries and residential burglaries combined. That's the way we're required to report it to the feds. Now, a burglary is a burglary no matter where it occurs. So you see 1,592 reported in 2023, 1,235 reported in 2024, so 357 less burglaries across our community, whether it be residential or business. Thefts from auto. Theft from auto occurs when someone takes something from the inside of an automobile. It doesn't necessarily have to be locked or they broke into it, but something from the inside of an automobile. 2023, you can see that as 2,055, and in 2024, 1,039, 1,021 thefts from inside automobiles in 2024. And I must thank the community so much for that, for locking your vehicles, for taking valuables out of sight, doing crime prevention by attempting to take the opportunity of crime out of the equation. All right. What you see here, theft from auto and auto accessory thefts, this is a combination of both. The auto accessory thefts is when someone steals something off of the vehicle, steal the tires, steal the radio, something actually connected to the vehicle. In 2023, 2,451 of those were reported to us, and in 2024, 1,198, so some 1,253 less vehicle-related crimes that were reported to us in the year 2024. Firearms seized. This has been a real big push of mine, one of my pet peeves, to take firearms off of the street and reduce our violent crimes. And it goes across the spectrum of years, and you can see what we've done. But in 2023, we took 1,204 illegally possessed weapons off of the streets, and in 2024, 1,101. So in 2023, we got 103 more weapons than we did last year, but our numbers are still impressive of the weapons that we removed from the streets. And these weapons that will not make their way back to the street, they will never have the opportunity to harm someone again because we destroy them. One thing here next up is the vehicle fatalities. And I know you've heard me say many, many times again that for the average citizen, the chances are greater that you'll be harmed or injured as a result of an automobile-related crash than getting shot or anything else. And impaired driving plays a big part of this, inattentive driving, and the list just goes on and on and on. But in 2023, we had 32 people that died as a result of an automobile accident here in the city limits of Shreveport. And in 2024, we had the exact same number of 32. And thus far this year, I think we've already had one or two that has been fatally harmed in an automobile crash. So this is a big concern to us. Next slide, you'll see the DWI arrests. In 2023, we had a reasonably full complement in our staff of officers that goes out and specifically look for impaired driving. And they arrested 625 people for driving while under the influence. 2024, 599 arrests were made for driving under the influence. But we accomplished that much with half the staff. Over the course of the year, we've lost half of the staff that we would normally have that focus their attention on that. But the ones that remain, I'm so proud of them and what they were able to accomplish in 2024. And that completes my presentation, and I'm available for questions.
You did good, Chief.
Chief, I'm happy to see the trends are going down. Is it possible to put some of this data on an actual map so we can see where these offenses are actually being occurred in which parts of our city?
Absolutely. We can do it any way you want to. We have the technology. We can make it happen any way you want it to.
Yeah, I just want to see what areas are needing more cameras and resources, especially if we have certain areas where a lot of this is occurring repetitively.
Yes, sir. We do it layover, because if you put it all on one map, it's going to look like a big dotted blur, and it'd be difficult to tell what's what. But if there's any in detail or specific crime, we can do that, and it'd be much better for you to understand than to see just a big blot of red dots. Okay. But we'd be happy to, no problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Taylor.
Chief, thank you for the report. I'm happy to see that crime is trending downward, and I'm grateful for your officers because it appears that you all have done some restructuring. Can you tell me how much technology has helped you all as it relates to the solvability rate of these crimes? If you can give us a percentage of what you all are solving now, because I think that is critical for the public to know that. That typically when Mr. Borderland emails us, there are about 10 emails letting us know that there have been arrests from crimes committed in 24 to 48 hours.
I have been so impressed with the results of technology and consistently embracing technology in our agency, the results that it is accomplishing. Many times, our crimes are being solved within hours or minutes of their occurrence. It's just unbelievable. For instance, on our homicide rate, you know, across the country, the average is around in the 40s and the 50s% solvability rate, or a little bit higher. And our solvability rate is up in the 70s and 80s. It's just remarkable. But technology is playing such an intricate part of that. Our real-time crime center, I can't emphasize enough how that is making an impact. And the community embracing those concepts and joining on to help us out. You may remember a couple of months ago, I had mentioned that we had filled up the capacity, and Mr. Dark had given me permission to buy another 500 slots for RTC. Well, guess what? I'm almost about to have to go back to him to ask for some more, because we are approaching here pretty soon the 1,800 mark of camera feeds that's coming in to our facility, and we good for about 2,000, and they sell it in like 500 blocks. So I'm going to have to get some more real soon. But it's working. It is really, really working. Our drone technology is helping us, and as most of you know, we took delivery here recently of our Bearcat, and already it is saving lives. It is saving lives. A couple of weeks after we got it, well, the next week after we got it, it went out on a call and saved a life. And I called Sheriff Whittington in Bossier Parish because I was so happy to tell him about how it functioned. And he says, how remarkable. Mine went out the other week, and I can tell the same story. When it pulled up on a scene of a hostage, someone barricaded inside the house, and they looked outside and saw this armored personnel carrier. They opened the door and came out with their hands up. Exact same thing that happened to us. So thank you all so much for all your support.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief.
Mr. Chair?
Councilman Talaferro?
Oh, you good? Chief, just a few things. On the arrest totals, I just want to, I guess, clarify for the constituents out there that these are total arrests, correct? Have nothing to do with prosecution.
No, that's
Okay.
total arrests. They are booked in.
Because I know a lot of people are interested, yeah, it's great to arrest, but it's great to prosecute as well.
Sure.
But these are just our arrests. We have nothing to do with, well, other than writing good reports.
That's
But
right.
that's another side of the law enforcement equation, correct?
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
and then on your on the felony statistics, you said the felonies are the reported felonies. Does that take into account if they're reclassified or classified as a different crime
Yes.
after it's reported?
Yes.
So these are actual rape, robbery, auto thefts
That is
after
correct.
they've been classified as such.
These are the true figures that come straight out of the computer after all been said and done.
Okay.
These are the actual statistics that's going to be reported to the federal government.
And regarding your vehicle accidents, do we keep track of whether these are, because it's remarkable that they're the same. Do we keep track of whether these are singles or multiple vehicle accidents at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think, to my knowledge, we just classify it as an accident, no
accident.
matter how many vehicles are actually involved.
All right. And one more thing regarding your DWI or DUI
Yes, sir.
traffic. Are these numbers just your DUI? I mean, I'm sorry, your traffic enforcement, or are these patrol combined?
This is the entire police department. This is everyone.
Thank you very much.
Exactly
Appreciate
right.
it.
We,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
receive support from the state of Louisiana. In general, we'll have, 3 or 4 operations per year that's specific to impaired driving.
So when, I guess.
Coming up.
So when you say we did it all with half, you're referring to half of our department staff?
No, half of the staff that is classified as DWI officers.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
trained.
Yeah, we have a cadre of people that this is their total function to focus on impaired driving. And several of those had to be reassigned for various reasons, but they're not there. Hopefully, they'll be coming back soon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chief.
All right,
Thank you. Does any members have anything for property standard? Mr. Green?
Good evening, Mr. Green. I need to get a resolve or explanation on Master's Drive regarding the dumpster.
Well, like we've discussed, I don't have that resolved. It's going to take ordinance, and usually that is done through permits.
Okay.
We don't have equipment or contractors that move those.
Okay. Would this be a zoning issue?
Say it again?
Would this be a zoning issue?
No.
Okay. Permits?
No, that's going to be something that you'll have to give a permit.
Okay. It's just disrespectful to have a neighborhood that has a robust neighborhood association, but then you come around and you got a neighbor that put a dumpster in their front yard.
Right.
And it's been there since October. They have called the city of Shreveport more than one time. It's not my job. We don't manage y'all. But it's my problem now because this constituent has a dumpster right next door to their home in the front yard.
Right.
It has no cover on it. It's collecting rainwater. It's collecting pests. And for my home, I wouldn't want that. So,
Right. So when you look at a care of premises, meaning there's grass, weeds, everything growing up around it. You look at trash spilling out of the dumpster onto the property. There's none of that. So it's just the dumpster sitting there. And the intent of that dumpster is to put trash in it, and we don't regulate how long a dumpster or storage units or anything like that is at a location.
okay, so what you're telling me is this council needs to do a new ordinance where you can't put a dumpster in your front yard for storage.
No, I'm not telling you that.
I'm trying to get an understanding because we've been
No.
going through this
Well,
since
I mean,
New
the thing
Year's
is,
Eve.
if it's not something that I regulate, then I'm not telling you that.
Okay,
I'm just
so-
telling you, as far as property standards is concerned,
Okay,
it's gonna have, you're gonna have to get with permits on it, and the city
Okay.
attorney.
okay. Marcus, do you have anything for us on this?
All I'll say is that in the property standards code, it says that you cannot have uncovered structures. It says
Structures.
storage of personalty in such property unless the same shall be stored within an enclosed structure. The fact that there's not a top on it means that it's not enclosed. So there are some things that we can do now. I think what Director Green is saying is that they may have gotten a permit for this dumpster.
No.
That they didn't get a permit for it. So, I mean, there are some things that we can do under 3843 as it currently exists.
Open
but
storage.
we should continue to look at it, and if we need to write something, we will.
So
But there is something that can be done.
under what?
3843.
No. This is not trash. This is not open storage. Remember, I mean, if you're gonna be specific, but let's not stretch an ordinance to make it fit. So,
Okay, so my request is for the administration in the departments that, whether it's permits, property standards, let's get this taken care of because My citizen has been calling me every day, and I'm being honest. I wouldn't want a dumpster uncovered in my front yard next door.
I understand, and my only issue is that no one's going to anybody else. Y'all keep bringing this to me. You're not looking at who the other containers and things of that nature that are not governed by us. They're in the ordinance. You're talking about trash again. We're not the actual trash department. Let's stop trying to put everything on the property standards.
Okay, so Mr. Dark, you manage property standards, you manage the sanitation department. With you managing these departments, whose responsibility is this?
I'm going to follow the lead of the city attorney on who it is. What you guys want is a remedy. We will try to find you one, in whichever department it is, because it doesn't make any difference to your constituents which department did it. You just want it gone.
Right.
So that's what we're going to try to find.
That's the help
legal
I
way to
haven't
do.
received. I haven't received the help. I don't manage your department heads. We're not supposed to manage the department heads. So at the same time, we still need to have a resolve. I mean, because next thing, if the neighbor go next door and get into an altercation, then we have another problem.
Yes, we do. Yes, ma'am. I will do my best to get you an answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Green, Silver Lake Apartments. It's not in my district, but I've gotten several calls. They're still using it as a dumping site. So,
which one is?
Line Avenue.
Yeah, address.
What street?
The apartments. that close
6702 Clifton Street.
Oh, okay. We will be on Line Avenue Thursday. After Line Avenue, well, you're calling Silver Lake. Is that the ones that we're calling Woodlawn Terrace?
Yeah, Silver Pine.
Okay.
Excellent.
We'll be at Woodlawn Terrace after that.
Okay. When?
So between Thursday and Monday, we should have pretty much most of all of the apartment complexes hit. We've done David Raines, we've done Fullerton, so we're making our way through all of them.
Okay. And if we need to get any cameras to prevent any further dumping, just let us know.
Say what?
Any further dumping in those areas.
Cameras.
Right, but the cameras don't come from us.
Yeah.
We know.
Okay. So, Mr. Green, what you're saying is you need some help to do your job.
Well, the cameras would, police, I know they did order the cameras. Chief White ordered the cameras last council meeting, so we'll see where they are with it.
Mr. Dark, how long will it take that when those cameras come in, that they will be able to be placed at those apartment complexes because they're using them each as dumping sites at every complex that's abandoned, which is further becoming a nuisance in the area. So if they're ordered, can you give us a timetable as to when they're going to be in and then how long it's going to be to install, that we can route them to the real-time crime center and then knock on the door of the person that does the dumping and let them know that they got an opportunity to come sit over there with Chief Wayne?
I can't give you that sitting here, but I will get it to you as quickly as I know the
Thank
answer.
you, sir.
Thank you. Any other concerns for Mr. Green? Thank you, Mr. Green. Everyone should have received the revenue plan implementation report on yesterday from Finance. Public hearing, there are none. Madam Clerk, will there be any legislation added today?
Yes, sir. We have Resolution 11, authorizing the City of Shreveport, Louisiana purchasing agent to reject all bids received for Fire Station Number 20, reconstruction IFB 24-060. And Resolution 12, authorizing the mayor to execute a service and maintenance agreement with Stryker Sales Corporation.
Mr. Attorney, can we add these together or they must be voted on separately?
They must be voted on separately.
Okay, remember, this must be unanimous to add it to the agenda. We'll take resolution 11 first. Is there a motion?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Does anybody in the audience has anything to add? What is add? Does anybody have an objection to adding this to the agenda, for or against? Please come to the mic and speak.
We need the motion first.
We need the motion first.
Need the motion in a second first to open up
So
discussion.
moved.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilman Talaferro. Now, is there anyone in the audience for or against having this added to the agenda? Seeing none, let's vote.
Is it not not showing up for you guys?
Yeah, hourglass now.
Did it come up now? No. Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks? Yes. Councilman Taylor Farrell?
Yes.
Councilman Butcher? Councilman Jackson?
Yay.
Councilman Green?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Bowman?
Yes.
Passes with 6.
Why not the Is there a motion to add resolution 12 to the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Is there anyone from the audience for or against adding this to the agenda? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the council. John Glover, 9100 Walker Road, Apartment 217, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71118. Because this is an added piece of legislation, can we understand specifically what this legislation is addressing, please? Thank you.
Mr. City Attorney, you got the nod.
Striker Services?
This is for
Striker Systems?
Striker Sales Corporation.
My understanding is that that is a fire EMS contract.
I don't see anybody from fire here, that's why I'm asking. It again is one of those that hit the threshold. I have not seen this one, so I don't know exactly what's in it.
Okay, this is a fire maintenance contract for $132,000. Because it involves maintenance on a fire facility, it's being treated as a professional service. The council at some point last year instituted a cap on professional services expenditures of $100,000. A cap on the mayor's authority to sign professional services contracts that were not publicly bid or brought before the council. That cap is at $100,000. This contract is $132,000, which is why it's being submitted to council before the administration will move forward on it.
Mr. Chair, is this a 1-reader or a 2-reader?
This is a 2-reader.
Any other discussions? Seeing none, let's vote.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks? Yes. Councilman Taylor Farrell?
Yes.
Councilman Butcher? Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Green?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Bowman?
Yes.
That passes with 6.
This resolution has been added to the agenda. Today we'll hear public comments on agenda items only. Vice Chair, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. We have Mr. Sammy Mears. Sammy, welcome to the meeting. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address for the record, please.
Sammy Mears, 1133 South Point Parkway, apartment 111, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71105. Today I speak on Resolution 9-2. I think this is a really good idea to do a good thing, which is dedicating the 1700 block of Oakdale Street in honor of Lois Bryant Hughes. It will be a great thing if you'll do this and vote yes today. I don't even know the woman. However, I'm sure that she would be very pleased since I'm mentioning this. And if you'll do this, she will be very happy and really appreciate it. So will the people on the street. And I will also be very appreciated too. And I just wanted to make sure I got in understanding to the word of the situation. So since I'm responding to it, they'll all be happy to know that I took an interest, even though I don't know them and I know they don't know me. But still, that doesn't make any difference. The thing is, I knew what I wanted to talk on. So please vote yes today, the resolution 9-2, and it will be appreciated. And I came back from Advent.
Happy New Year, Sammy.
Happy New Year.
Marcus Pittleman. Chairman hopes I pronounced your last name correctly. You have 3 minutes. State your name and address.
apologize. I'm hard hearing as I'll get out. Got on hearing aid still.
Yes,
Hard for me
sir.
to understand you.
You state your name and address for the record, and you have
All right,
3 minutes.
Mark Pittman, 4650 Greenwood Road. That's my business. You want my home residence or you?
It doesn't matter.
That's good. Okay. I have a lot that's all within the same fence. I had an old man next to me that was out mowing it, and I thought I was going to kill him in the city, making him mow it, and I told him I'd mowed it. I'd mowed it for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and then he died, and his wife asked me would I buy it, and I said, sure. She was going in Alaska. And the lot, I've just been mowing the lot. It's part of my lot. It's inside all the same fence. And I thought I had a F-350 truck stolen, had a generator stolen, and some other stuff. And I thought, well, I'll just put up a 30 by 60 building right beside my office and put it inside, and it lessened the chance of that happening. And then I found out that the lot that I had bought was residential. Well, the MPC approved it being commercial. Everything 2 miles either way is commercial. And the lot really isn't big enough to put something residential on it, but nobody would put a house there anyway. And so I applied, and they agreed to zone 4. All I was going to do is put up a 30 by 60 building, and I've run into a wasp nest trying to get a permit because of the. So we had it rezoned, had a surveyor survey it, replat it, try to make it just one lot. And I think that went through. The MPC approved it. Now I need y'all's blessing.
So your business is the business that's located at
Ma'am, I'm so sorry.
You're located at Greenwood Road in Hutchinson?
Yes, ma'am. I'm right across 2020 Seafood.
Okay.
Everybody knows where that is.
So you plan to, we were told yesterday that you would have trucks. What type of trucks? Are you going to have any trucks at your business?
No, ma'am. It's using the same driveway as my office. It's the same parking as my office. There's nothing changes on the access. There's nothing changes on the grading or sloping. Okay. It's the only thing I degrassed was right where the building sits, the 30 by 60, and so nothing changes. It's just a little storage building.
Okay. Yeah. Do you mind if we just take a look at it?
Ma'am.
Do you mind if we take a look at it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay.
I brought a diagram that shows, okay. And I've submitted everything to the permit office to get my permit.
Okay, that's what we wanted, clarity, because we didn't know what it was going to be or what was going to be housed there. So you want to house a building there and adjacent to your construction
Yes, ma'am.
office.
Like I said, it's all in the same fence. It's all the same lot.
Okay.
It's just 100 years ago, the surveyor said 100 years ago, they zoned that residential and everything has went commercial since then.
Okay.
And,
okay. Thank you.
My question for Councilwoman Bowman is, City Attorney or Mr. Clark, is there any way to give a special use permit for him to put a building on there but keep the zone residential? I just want to make sure that we protected residential that foresees your usage if you leave it to an heir or something like that. So I want to know if there's a possibility for a special use permit to allow the building but still keep its own residential. Is that an option?
You'd have to send it back to the MPC. You'd have to go through the process again.
But is that an option, though? Councilwoman Bowman.
Okay. Me and Councilwoman Taylor share that district, and we had some concerns yesterday. So for the record, it will be no 18-wheelers going.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Just a building.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's just sitting right next to my building. It's actually formed up, and you can see where the building's going to sit. It's
okay.
15, 20 feet away from my other building.
Okay.
And it looks like the other buildings.
Okay, thank you. Our concern was making sure the 18-wheeler traffic wasn't going to go where they had 2 churches, a school, and some residential. So it's a little different. It's a better understanding now.
Mr. Clark, can you come up, please? Mr. Clark, if this is remanded back to you, and Mr. Pittman applies for a special use permit, because what makes me think is that where his building is going to be housed, apparently it backs up on Hutchinson Street because his main business is on Greenwood Road. That's why the lot is residential. So if he just applies for a special use permit, how long is that process going to take? And not changing, I don't want to change the zoning going into that residential neighborhood because you have a housing community right there.
Ma'am, the only houses are
I know where the houses are.
way
but-
back, yes, ma'am. I don't even think you
Yeah.
can see them from my office.
But I understand, but if you decide to leave your business one day, somebody else will come in and then that changes the
I
whole
don't think
zone.
there'd be enough room for them to build anything.
That's okay. I'm still trying to make this process a little bit easier. So I won't upset the neighbors to make it work for you and them. So if he does a
Property-
special use permit, how long will it take?
Probably, he would have to re-advertise and go back through the whole process. But in reference to that property, this is the property here. Part of it is zoned residential.
Right.
Part of it is zoned C3 commercial. In order to do the warehouse type use he wanted, it would require C4. He could have changed everything to C3, but that would be an extra step. He would have to get it all zone C3 and then come back and get the special use permit. Whereas if he's given the C4, he's ready to go now.
How is that going to interfere with the residents that live on Hutchinson?
Ma'am, if I may
No,
say.
let me ask him.
It should have very little effect. If you notice, this is the residential part.
Correct.
And I have not been out there, so I don't know how many houses are back here.
Okay.
But this is his property, and all across is commercial.
So
his
what?
own property.
So what my suggestion is going to be, let us to go in and inspect, so we'll see. We'll know for sure that it's not, and what is not going to interfere. Mr. Pittman will postpone this for 2 weeks to come with the remedy and look at it so we know what the business is, to ensure that it does not infringe upon the neighborhood that's behind you.
Yes, ma'am. The only problem I have is I paid a third of the building down when I ordered it before. I mean, I didn't realize that was residential. They was going to zone it residential. It had
Right.
been, and I'm going to lose that about $7,000 or $8,000 if I don't do something real quick. This has been going on for quite some time now.
We just got it.
Yes, sir.
And so we just getting information on what this is on yesterday, and you clearing it for us today. So we also have to make sure that the residents that are on that street are protected as well, because when you change zoning, then you allow for other things to come in. And you talking heavy commercial. So with that being said, we don't handle the MPC. What we're looking at is if that zoning changes, how is it going to affect the neighborhood that's right there behind it? And I need to know, and it's clear in my brain, that they are going to be okay. If there is another alternative, what that is, that we can discuss that within those 2 weeks. So I'm gonna do a 2-week postponement on the zoning.
Just one more thing, Councilwoman Taylor. Part of this is already zoned commercially.
I understand that.
So if it was gonna have a negative effect on the residential land, we would know about it. But when you have commercial property, budding residential property, you have fencing, you have landscaping, all kind of mitigation uses to prevent the intrusiveness of the commercial use.
Yes.
But I mean, we'll go back out, but it's not gonna equate to nothing other than us implementing the requirements that the ordinance has when commercial abuts residential.
Mr. Clark.
And Mr. Clark, I think the concern is all commercial buildings, all commercial is not the same.
Correct.
And so what you're using the first, sir, I think it's okay.
Right.
But if you decide to sell your property and somebody decides to bring in something that's going to create a lot of noise on a C4 because it's allowed in C4, then that's a different story. So I think Councilwoman Taylor's trying to protect the future use of that C4 if that land is to ever be sold. What type of business could come, and would that be a problem for the residents?
And we could possibly use the conditional zoning process in order to put conditions on the zoning, the zoning will remain the same as it was. But still, Councilman Jackson, the C3 property is not going anywhere. And they still, if someone buys the property, they still have the full spectrum of C3 uses. You can't prevent that because it's already there.
But I don't think that's what he's saying, because we're changing it from that to another aspect of it. So this is what I'm saying to you, Mr. Pittman. I don't want you to lose your money. So because we're just learning what this is, what's the opportunity in these 2 weeks to see what conditions that we need to put there so I can protect the integrity of the residents that are behind it. Because those residents as well are my constituents. And I want to make sure that, again, if you decide to sell this business, I don't know who else is going to come in. And so I have to look at that too for future use when you talk about changing zoning. And so that's where we are.
Yes, ma'am.
One last thing, Councilwoman. In a regular rezoning application, you can't attach any requirements on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're only doing rezoning from C3 R17 to C4. When we get into the conditional zoning processes, or we get into the PUD processes, planned unit development, then that allows for you to require amenities or attach additional conditions to the property. Okay. But a regular rezoning, it's just going to be a regular rezoning.
Yeah, Mr. Clark, respectfully, can we go ahead and we're gonna postpone it for 2 weeks so we can do
What we need to do
we need to
in those 2
investigate what we
weeks.
need to do, because there is a school back there that Bishop Brandon has on Hutchinson. So let us do our homework on it, because once we change the zoning, they'll call us who voted on it, not you. So I would prefer to do what Councilwoman Taylor said, and we'll just postpone for 2 weeks.
And please know, Councilman Oldman and Councilwoman Taylor, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to share with you that this is sort of beyond the protection that you're trying to guarantee, unless we take a total different route, which will delay this gentleman even longer.
Okay,
But
so
that's not a decision that we made.
Right.
I believe that our options for Mr. Pittman should have been presented to him. What we have in front of us is what the final solution was. And so yesterday, it was a discrepancy between what the staff wanted and what the board wanted. And so that puts the council in a perplexing situation as well. And our job is to make sure that we protect the integrity of the neighborhood as well, and then what is coming into that neighborhood. So we don't handle the MPC. We look at it when it comes to the council, we ask, what is this business going to do? We don't have all the full specifications on that. So maybe that's something that we can change. And so I'm not going to make a rash decision on that until I know she and I both know that this is going to be okay for the residents that are behind that, and what that zoning is going to do and how it's going to impact for future use.
Thank
So
you.
we're postponing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Mr. Chair.
And if you're interested, Mr. Chair, I did get the measurements that were done for the liquor store out on East 70th Street.
Okay. Let us finish with public comments, and then I'll bring you back up.
Okay.
But before you go,
Just wanted to-
Councilman Talaferro had something.
Sir, regarding, right here, over here. Regarding your agreement with whomever you purchased the building from, are you on a timeline to pay the other third of a
No,
third?
I've owned the property for 15, 20 years.
No. I'm talking about the building itself. You had concerns about you've already paid a third down on the building that you don't even know you can use now until, we render a decision. So my concern is that do you feel that you're in danger or put up against the wall for another payment? And if so, I think it's because it seems to be we're the ones calling it. We're stagnating right now with good intentions. But I don't. If it comes down to us writing a letter to whomever explaining the process and why you're in a pickle here, I think, we possibly could do that for you. I just didn't know if you were up against a timeline for another payment.
I don't recall what the timeline is.
Okay.
I bought the building back in August.
Got it.
And then ran into it was residential, that one lot. It's not, it was about a third of the lot's what it amounted to.
Yes, sir.
But it's behind my fenced area. It's fenced in with my building.
Yeah, but I'm just concerned about your purchasing of that building, which you said you've already.
I don't recall what the
Okay.
timeline is.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I ask what you said? You give you a couple of weeks. What do
We're gonna postpone it to the next council meeting.
Okay, and that is.
And that on the 28th. And then we'll make a decision on
Okay.
that day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Jerry Bowman. Mr. Jerry Bowman, welcome to the meeting, school board member, former council member. You have 3 minutes.
I think you know.
When I clear my throat, that means your time is out.
Thank you. Jerry Bowman, 9228 West Aragon, Shreveport. Come before you today just to speak on what I saw on the agenda a few nights ago, which is the election of chair and vice chair. Start off with is that, and that's for everyone, I believe, leadership is just not the position, it's also about the action, showing action. Leadership isn't always about the sunny paths. Great leaders are those who are willingly ready to face difficult situations with honesty and transparency, which is what I just saw displayed between you all with this gentleman who just went to his seat. A leader is also imperative for a leader that you demonstrate clear direction and a driving force. It's not just about the destination, it's also about the enthusiasm and the commitment you bring to that journey. Your passion inspires others who follow you, okay? Something I told my councilwoman when she first decided to, before she decided to run, if that makes sense, that a leader takes people where they want to go. And my mother told me that a great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but where they ought to be. And I see that in you all up there today, and I appreciate you. And just keep that in mind for when whoever that vice chairman and chairman is, just continue to remember that. Thank you.
Thank you. You still got 2 more minutes if you want to continue.
No, I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert Taylor. Mr. Michael Shannon. So welcome to the council meeting, and you have 3 minutes. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Michael Shannon.
You still got your pistol, Michael?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
9833 East Chase Circle, Shreveport, Louisiana. Thank you guys for hearing. I'm here based on concerns. We're trying to do a Christian Academy preschool at our church at 4100 block of Lakeshore Drive. And there were some concerns, I understand, on the council behalf about traffic because we are within a block or so of a food pantry. The city has already regulated the traffic, and they also distribute food once a month. And when I say once a month, it's like 2 days. They do it from 3 to 5 on Friday and then 8 to 10 on Saturday. The traffic comes around probably about the 3900 block where Cross Lake Boulevard comes in. It reroutes the traffic around Deal League and comes back. And so when they come out, it's just kind of like one car every 30 seconds. So, and we're down around probably about a block and a half down where the facility will actually be. And our property is big enough where it's not going to cause backup traffic on Lakeshore. So I understood that was one of the questions that you guys had, and hopefully that clears it.
So you're actually at the church?
Beg pardon?
You're at the church?
You say?
The daycare is at the church?
Well, it's not. We haven't built it. We're
You have a
trying to
building?
build it, and yeah, we're trying to go through the processes to get approval to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
But it will be on the property of the church.
Okay.
That's good?
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thanks, Michael.
Mr. Chair, that concludes public speaking.
Okay, thank you. We have no executive appointments to consider today. There are no items on the consent agenda or introduction or to be adopted. Madam Clerk, would you please proceed with regular agenda legislation?
Resolution 192, authorizing amendment to the act of donation for North Shreveport Bossier Association.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 193, requiring a 2/3 majority vote of the City of Council to change the use of property designated for the North Shreveport Public Safety Substation.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion?
Mr. Dart, I'm going to reiterate this again on the construction of the project to stay into their grasp of 1.5 million for sure when we constructing this.
We'll know when we
substation.
get bids, and we'll be going right back out to bids as soon as all this is done and effective. But
All right.
we're-
Thank you,
We're
sir.
trying to.
Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 194, ratifying the execution of certain documents and instruments relative to a community development block grant agreement between the City of Shreveport, Galilee City Affordable Housing LP, and others.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by the chair. Any discussion? Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 199, authorizing the mayor to execute a license and maintenance agreement with Azteca Systems LLC City Works.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 200, authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement with McKim and Creed to provide engineering services relative to water modeling.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 201, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Shreveport and the State of Louisiana Department of Treasury. This is for city lighting upgrades.
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 202, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Shreveport and the State of Louisiana Department of Treasury. This is for A.B. Palmer Park.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by the chair, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
They passed with 6.
Resolution 203, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of Shreveport and the state of Louisiana Department of Treasury. This is for the Independence Bowl.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Resolution 204, authorizing a request to be made to the Louisiana Department of Natural Resources, Louisiana State Mineral and Energy Board to seek public bids for an oil, gas, and mineral lease involving a property located in District G, described herein, and to execute the lease for certain mineral interests owned by the city of Shreveport, and to authorize the mayor to execute any and all documents related to the intent of this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Councilman Jackson.
Passed with 6.
Resolution 1, endorsing a grant application submitted to the U.S. Department of Transportation to secure funds for the 2025 discretionary grant funding.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Resolution 2, dedicating the 1700 block of Oakdale Street in honor of Louise Bryant Hughes.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Brooks, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Resolution 11, authorizing the city of Shreveport, Louisiana purchasing agent to reject all bids received for Fire Station 20 reconstruction IFB 24-060.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Bowman. Any discussion? Let's vote.
It passed with 6.
Introduction. It's a two-reader.
Madam Clerk, would you please receive introduction on resolution not to be adopted prior to January 28, 2025?
Resolution 3, adopting the system survey and compliance questionnaire required by the State of Louisiana Legislative Auditor's Office. Resolution 4, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of Shreveport and the State of Louisiana Department of Treasury. Resolution 5, authorizing the mayor of the city of Shreveport to sign an approval of the assignment by Cypress Energy Partners, LLC, of an oil and gas lease to Paloma Natural Gas. Resolution 6, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with CT Burnham Corp. To provide engineering and consulting services for Airport Park and Southern Hills Metro Park pools. Resolution 7, authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement with Ballard Consulting Engineers to provide engineering services for capital roadway improvements. Resolution 8, authorizing the mayor to execute a supplemental agreement with East Source Companies, LLC, to provide consulting services for advanced water metering infrastructure. Resolution 9, authorizing the mayor to execute a consulting service agreement with John J. Guth and Associates to provide engineering services relative to municipal courts, building, HVAC renovation. Resolution 10, granting city council approval for the mayor to pay the premiums and execute documents in connection with the purchase of insurance for the city's excess workers' compensation inland marine for the period beginning January 1st, 2025. And Resolution 12, authorizing the mayor to execute a service and maintenance agreement with Stryker Sales Corporation.
Is there a motion to introduce these resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman Bowman. These resolutions have been introduced. Madam Clerk, would you
Mr.
please?
Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
A little bit more information on that last Resolution 12. Earlier, I said it was a maintenance agreement. I want to be clear that it's for service and maintenance for 15 LifePak monitor defibrillators, which have to be maintained every year. So that's the nature of the contract that was just done as a late ad and just introduced.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please receive the introduction of ordinance not to be adopted prior to January 28, 2025?
Ordinance 1, amending the 2025 general fund budget. Ordinance 2, amending the 2025 budget for the Community Development Special Revenue Fund. Ordinance 3, amending the City of Shreveport, Louisiana 2025 Capital Projects Fund budget, appropriating the funds herein. This is for Amtrak. Ordinance 4, amending the City of Shreveport, Louisiana 2025 Capital Projects Fund budget. This is for Bayou Pierre Drainage. Ordinance 5, amending the City of Shreveport, Louisiana 2025 Capital Projects Fund budget. This is for Paloma Natural Gas. And Ordinance 6 is amending the City of Shreveport, Louisiana 2025 Capital Projects Fund budget, and this is for University Park subdivision.
Move on introduction.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Vice Chair Green. These ordinances have been introduced. Madam Clerk, would you please receive an ordinance on second reading and final passage?
Ordinance 40, an ordinance authorizing the lease of portions of Stageworks of Louisiana, a city-owned property to G-Unit Film and Television Louisiana, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. This has been postponed until January 28, 2025. Ordinance 156, zoning case number 24-140C, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map of the City of Shreveport by rezoning property located southwest corner of Greenwood and Forge Road from I-2 Heavy Industrial District to I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District.
So moved.
Been moved by Councilwoman Bowman.
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
Councilman Jackson and Councilman Teleferro.
Yay.
Not getting a prompt.
Pass with
Yes.
6.
Yay.
Ordinance 157, closing and abandoning a portion of Sanders Street, dedication in Steer Court subdivision in Section 22, Township 17 North, Range 14 West.
Well, no, he's not here.
Mr. Chair, I did speak with Councilman Butcher, and he is okay with moving this forward and approving it. I was expecting him to send a joint email out, letting us know his concerns if he was not going to be here, but he gave me a go-ahead approval.
So that has been motioned by Councilman Talaferro. Second by Councilman Brooks. Any discussion? Not, let's vote.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Green,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Bowman.
Yes.
That passes
It
with
passed
6.
with 6.
Ordinance 158 to amend Section 94-163 B and G of Chapter 94 of the City of Shreveport, Louisiana Code of Ordinances relative to billing and collection.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by the chair. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Councilman Brooks.
Mr. Dart, you said yesterday that this would change where it required a $100 per unit deposit on
Going
apartment
for-
complexes
going
with a single
forward
meter?
Yes, sir. Going forward on all apartment complexes that are master metered.
Okay, so Jolie Apartments, for example, how many apartments was that? Give or take?
Several hundred.
So when they put up $100 per apartment, what happens when they don't pay the bill and it gets to that amount?
Well, that, the whole purpose from doing this is trying to say if we're going to be cutting water off at 2 or 3 months, they won't have a chance to get ahead of that absent some massive leak. So the idea is to get a little bit more skin in the game for them initially so that if they don't, if they go a month or two and decide to walk away, we've at least got the deposit to deal with. But
Or if we have to cut the water off, we hopefully have enough deposit to cover it.
If we are doing our job and cutting off water early.
Well, that's my concern.
Then we would be in a position where the deposit would cover most of the.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's vote.
Councilwoman Bowman.
Aye.
Pass with 6.
Ordinance 159. Zoning case 24-61C, rezoning property located east side of West Canal Boulevard, approximately 280 feet south of West 70th Street from R17 Single Family Residential Zoning District to C2 Corridor Commercial Zoning District.
So moved.
Been moved by Vice Chair Green, second by the chair. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Vice Chair.
I'd just like for everybody to vote no on this. I just can't, with good conscience, bring a restaurant into a residential. So I ask that you vote no.
Any other discussion?
So you moved it, but you want us to vote nay?
Yeah.
So I should vote yay.
Just so his announcement could be wrong.
Okay, Mr. Chair, if I may ask.
Go ahead, Councilman Talavera.
Councilman Green. Opposition to your suggestion not to approve? I mean,
Sir.
I understand your position that you don't believe that a restaurant should be in that particular area. And I just didn't know if you.
In a neighborhood, I'm just
Oh, in the
consistent,
neighborhood.
as I was with the dollar store, not bringing the dollar store into a neighborhood. I feel like I have to be consistent that if I voted that a dollar store come, then I got to vote that a restaurant couldn't come in there as well because they carry the same trash, whatever, and traffic. My vote's still gonna be no. You can come up if you like.
I would like, yes, please.
Did you see it yesterday?
Well, that's what it say on.
Say it on here.
I don't want a business in a residential.
Are there any more discussions?
With all due respects, I don't know, really, as they say, a confused mind votes no. I don't have enough information, nor have I studied the ramifications of any kind of a business in your district, Councilman Green. And I'm just gonna, I'll trust that it's your best judgment. It's your district. And your constituents have to, take it up with you if there's any issues.
I'll call for the vote.
Discussion has concluded. Let's vote.
Councilman Talaferro.
Oh, yeah. I had to remember yea or nay. I did.
That fails with 6.
Ordinance 160, zoning case 24-126C, rezoning property located on the north side of Hathaway Lane, approximately 430 feet west of Forbin Road from R17 Single Family Residential to R17 CZD, Single Family Residential Conditional Zoning District.
And Mr. Chair, this is also Councilman Butcher's district, and I did speak with him
If
yesterday.
you can go ahead and
I'm sorry.
move it, and then we can discuss it.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Been moved by Councilman Talaferro, second by Councilman Brooks. Councilman Talaferro, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I did speak with Councilman Butcher about this, and he has no reservations about approval.
Any other discussion? Let's vote.
My system's twirling, but it did pass with a 6-0 vote.
Pass with 6.
Resolution 161, zoning case number 24-165C, rezoning property located southwest corner of Henderson Avenue and Piermont Road from R17 Single Family Zoning District to C3 General Commercial Zoning District.
So moved.
Second.
And Mr. Chair?
Been moved by Councilman Talaferro, second by Councilman Brooks. Discussion, Councilman Talaferro.
Yes. In essence of, professional courtesy, Jacqueline Scott is in the audience. I'd like her to come up and just explain what she has. Is she in? Okay. Sure, come on up.
Good evening. Carlos Hartwell, 118 Colquitt Street, Bossier City, Louisiana, 71111. This is to have a parking lot that will assist with her building and everything she's doing over on Paramount.
And Mr. Chair, I did speak with Ms. Scott earlier this afternoon, and we had a discussion on the suggested landscape and so forth for the parking lot to keep it kind of a nice buffer area since it was a residential area. And based on the amount of effort that she's gone through already at the corner where her office is, she assured me that obviously she's going to be very favorable to the area. And so I have no reason not to approve going forward with her application to be rezoned.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It passed with 6.
Ordinance 162, zoning case number 24-175C, rezoning property located on the south side of Broad Acres Road, approximately 1,480 feet west of Buncombe Road from R17 Single Family Zoning District to RA Rural Agricultural Zoning District.
Motion to postpone, please.
Second.
Been motion by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Vice Chair Green to postpone. Any discussion? Not, let's vote.
Passed with 6.
Ordinance 163, zoning case number 24-182C, rezoning property located north side of Greenwood Road, approximately 600 feet east of Hutchinson Street, from C3 General Commercial Zoning District to R17 Single Family Residential Zoning District to C4 Heavy Commercial Zoning District.
Motion to postpone.
Second.
Been motion to postpone by Councilwoman Taylor, second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
Councilman Jackson.
Passed with 6.
Ordinance 164, zoning case 24-189C, rezoning property located on the east side of Lakeshore Drive, approximately 630 feet south of Deer League, from R17 Single Family Residential Zoning District to Zoning District C1 Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Bowman, second by Vice Chair Green. Any discussion? Let's vote.
Councilman Brooks, did you vote yet?
You're going to mess up his prophecy.
It passes with 6.
You're going to mess up his prophecy.
Madam Clerk, is there any table legislation been removed from the table today?
No, sir.
We have no property standard, NBC, ZBA, or ABO appeals considered today. Are there any other appeals, Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
Are there any reports from officers, boards, or committees? Is there a clerk's report?
No, sir.
Mr. Arsenault, Mayor Arsenault, excuse me, do you have any additional communication?
No, sir.
Okay. Want to speak on the hip? Do the little hokey pokey today?
Well, I will say I'm up and walking, and I appreciate all the good wishes
for my recovery, which seems to be going very well. Thank you.
Go ahead and take a lap for us.
Quit shooting from the hip and just tell us how you feel.
There'll be no shooting from the hip today.
I don't blame you. That's a brand new hip.
Does any council member have additional communications?
I do, Mr. Chair. I neglected yesterday at the work session to give thanks for the city employees and their leadership for everything that they have done last week for a successful eye bowl, and then to roll right into bad weather. The preparations that they made, even though they weren't necessarily needed, just truly shows the caliber of professionalism that we have in this city and the leadership that we have, for our employees. And I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to everybody who was involved in the city's preparation for the bad weather and the city's preparation for a successful eye bowl. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Green.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. I saw Mr. Daniel, but I see Gary's here. And, but I wanted to, Mr. Daniel, would you all come up? There were, I heard about a situation whereas some of you all's employees was in a drainage, fixing a drainage problem, and one of the employees was in the hole, and
they were Councilman William Daniel, Director of Water and Sewage. They were repairing a water pipe.
Yes, sir.
And it was fairly deep. Started raining. Everybody got out as they were supposed to. One man got back in as he wasn't supposed to, and then there was an issue. But thanks to the training of all the other people there, they all did their jobs and kept him safe until the fire department arrived, and then the fire department did their job and got him out. So it ended well, and the employee in question, is a really good employee, just made a lapse of judgment, trying to finish up a project before it rained, and he's been told how to do it in the future, so we feel confident that that will take place.
And I just wanted to commend you all for training your employees and commend the fire department for doing their job, and everybody did their job, and everybody went home safe. I just wanted to bring that up. And
well, thank you. We're extremely grateful that he did get out and he went to the hospital, but they released him. And it's just kind of a reminder of that the work that my employees and Gary employees do is dangerous.
Right.
And but they do it with enthusiasm and a really good work ethic, so that that they can continue to provide services to the citizens.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Norman, I'd also like to extend condolences to one of your workers that lost their daughter. I know the funeral was this past weekend, so would you please extend condolences from the council?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are there other additional communications?
I'd just like to say hello to Uncle Kevin.
Want to acknowledge the Duns in the audience there. They used to be in my district, but they moved on to Councilwoman Bowman's district.
No,
I'm pretty sure they're not happy, so we got some houses there if y'all want to come back over.
They're actually in the parish. They're in Commissioner Sturmagate Watts district.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Left the
straight back there.
Before we move on to the election, I do want to kind of acknowledge my year as chair. I always believe chair and vice chair is an honor. I don't believe it's a right, and so I definitely want to thank my colleagues for bestowing this honor upon me. I hope and pray that I did you proud. I thank all of the calls and prayers that I have given over this last year. I tried to do my best, so I'm hoping that, again, I made my colleagues proud, and I will not be running for re-election. However, I will be giving my support to individuals who I feel like is going to carry us into 2025 the right way. So they definitely have my full support. You'll know who they are once I vote. But I just wanted to say for the record, they definitely have my full support, and I'm asking you to fully support them as well. We still have a lot of work to do. We are halfway throughout our term. We've made great progress, great stride, but we still have a long way to go. This is one Shreveport. This is home. We all love Shreveport, so we got to put our best effort. Again, thank you to my colleagues. Thank you to my constituent of District E. I enjoyed my time as chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Councilman Talaferro.
Since we're on the topic of your leadership, I just want to say, as chair, you have exhibited the leadership characteristics and attributes expected of any person holding this position. You have been decisive when necessary, tolerant and fair when applicable, kept the processes in place to keep this train running on time and on track and out of the ditches. I thank you for your service, and I've enjoyed working alongside you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Green.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I would also like to say it's been my pleasure to be vice chair with you, and certainly you've done a great job, and I appreciate you. And this will be my last day as vice chair, and I'm going to take my vacation in Hawaii. And you're welcome to join me if you like.
Absolutely.
But it has been a pleasure. And also, I'd like to say that I'm giving my support to Councilwoman Taylor and Councilwoman Bowman, and thank you all for allowing me to be your campaign manager.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to tell Councilman Jackson, thank you for your leadership. It's been awesome. You have set the decorum high, which I really appreciate, and I plan to, if I'm selected, to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
I echo the same thing, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for keeping us on task, because this is never easy when you're sitting in that chair, but you have handled it well.
Agreed. We had a good year.
Yes.
Thank you, Alan.
So I had a really, really expensive gift picked out for each of you. But of course, the city attorney told me that I couldn't give that to you. So I returned it, and you have my gratitude.
He took a picture of it, though. He got a picture of it. You can see what he had.
Marcus, can we look at the picture?
You can take a picture. He took a picture.
Can we look at the picture?
You can see the picture.
So lastly, I want to thank the city attorney for always keeping me in line and keeping us in line. And thank you for reminding me that we cannot exceed gifts over $25.
And also, Mr. Chair, Councilman Talaferro, do you have any more of those Morrison certificates?
I just happen to have.
Okay, so just give them one of those.
I don't have any more Morrisons, but I do have a Luby's handy.
Thank you again. Now we will have the election of chair and vice chair. We'll go in the order of chair first, then vice chair. Is there a motion or nomination for chair?
I'd like to make a motion that I'd like to nominate Councilman Tabitha Taylor as chair.
I second that nomination.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Because of my past voting record for someone of tenure and that has done their due diligence and been in the trenches for this council in 2 administrations, I would be remiss if I didn't offer Councilman Butcher for consideration for chair of this council.
Okay. There's been a motion from Councilman Butcher. Do we need a second? Or is this?
Need a second.
I don't think either one got a second.
Yes. I second.
Okay. Yes, take them in order that they were nominated, moved.
Okay. Do we have a second for Councilman Butcher? Okay. Seeing no second, that nomination fails. Do we vote? We're voting on Councilwoman Taylor for chair.
The And that passes with, Gary. That passes with 5.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go.
And Mr. Chair, if I may make a statement
Yes,
regarding
Councilman
our election.
Talafaro.
Thank you. I've had numerous people ask me, why do we change? Why do we even consider changing leadership in this council and also on the commission? And I'd like to dovetail off of former Councilman Jerry Bowman's comments regarding leadership. Leadership rotation is a cornerstone of healthy organizational growth. The goal isn't to challenge the competences of current leaders, but to create an environment where more individuals develop leadership skills, resulting in a stronger, more adaptable organization. When leadership positions are rotated, it's a strategic investment in the organization's future. The leadership expert John Maxwell often emphasizes that everything rises and falls on leadership. By allowing different team members to take on leadership roles, the organization benefits from diverse perspectives and approaches. Each leader brings a unique set of skills and insights to the table, fostering innovation and preventing stagnation. Leadership isn't just about maintaining the status quo. It's about pushing boundaries and seeking new horizons. When more individuals gain leadership experience, the organization as a whole becomes more resilient and dynamic. It's not just about filling a position. It's about evolving into a role that challenges and enhances one's potential. This growth mindset is essential for both the individual and the organization. And as team members step into leadership roles, they not only contribute to the organization's success, but also develop a deeper understanding of its mission and vision. And moreover, rotating leadership positions helps us in identifying and nurturing future leaders. And often, potential leaders remain hidden in the ranks, their capabilities unexplored. This approach ensures a pipeline of capable leaders ready to step up when needed, reducing dependency on a single individual and safeguarding the organization's longevity. Another benefit of leadership rotation is the promotion of collaboration and teamwork. When team members experience different leadership styles and approaches, they gain a broader understanding of what it takes to lead effectively. This exposure fosters a culture of mutual respect and appreciation, as I believe we have here. As team members recognize the challenges and responsibilities that come with leadership, their leadership roles. It builds a more cohesive team where individuals are more likely to support and uplift each other. And furthermore, leadership rotation encourages accountability and transparency. When individuals know that they have the opportunity to lead, they are more likely to engage fully with the organization's goals and values. And they understand that their turn in leadership will require them to uphold standards and lead by example. This awareness fosters a culture of integrity and responsibility where everyone is invested in the organization's success. And as you all know, leadership is about serving others and unlocking potential, both in oneself and others. Rotating leadership roles is a powerful way to achieve this, ensuring that the organization thrives with a wealth of experience, capable leaders at every level. Thank you, and congratulations, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much.
Now we will take nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Ursula Bowman as vice.
It has been nominated by Vice Chair Green, and since Councilman Brooks beat me to the second, I'll let him have the second, but I thirded. Are there any other nominations? If not, let's vote.
Councilman Talafaro.
I have nothing but yes.
It passes with 5.
Six.
6.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes. Councilman Green.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I feel in my heart, and I prayed about it, that these two ladies will take us to another height for this council. I believe in them, and I believe that it has been ordained that they would carry on. Also, I'd like to say, Mr. Chair, listen to what a person say. Listen, hear what a person writes, but always watch what a person does, because talk is cheap, but as they say, it can't buy land. There are people who talk about leadership, they talk about how this council ought to be, but it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to be about it. And I'd just like to thank the 5 of you, 6 with me, to carrying out the duty of this council as to what we raised our right hand to do. And I'd like to commend you all for doing it. This is not an entitlement. This is your colleagues got to vote for you to do this. They got to have faith in you to do this, and you got to carry out the task. Because you're not selected, you can't take your ball and go home and play at home or whatever. You can't pout. This is for people with a big heart, a big mind. We have to always take in consideration that we are servants. We're not to be served. We are servants to the people, to this city. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilwoman Bowman, Councilwoman Taylor has always had your back. They will still have your back. Don't worry about all the rumors that you hear that Councilwoman Taylor is going to fire people when you leave, and Councilwoman Bowman. Don't believe all of that.
Correct.
These are 2 Christian women, and I believe in them, and I believe that they are for the good of this city. And so, therefore, some people want to divide and conquer, but that's not how you do. We are leaders. The people are looking to us, and we got to set the standards high. We got to do our job. We got to help one another. This council has accomplished a whole lot during these 2 years. We've worked together. Yeah, we may have started off one way, but we ended up doing what is the best for this city.
Correct.
And I'd like to commend all of them for doing it, and that's what we've done, and that's what we stand for. But when you send something out on Facebook, don't put it on Facebook. Say it to my face. And then just be a man about whatever you do. And we're going to trust God, Mr. Mayor, along with this council, that we're going to fulfill some dreams this coming year, and we're going to do what we were set out to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I do want to make it clear for those who are not aware of what's just happened. History has been made. Yes. We have never had a woman and vice chair ever in the history of Shreveport. I'm asking everyone to tune in next meeting. If you are a mother, if you are a daughter, every woman to tune in at next meeting, because a woman, 2 women, 2 fabulous women will be leading us into 2025. History has been made.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Councilwoman Taylor had a lot of her constituents here, the ones that gave her a big party up there. I don't know if it was a campaign party for running for mayor or what, but yeah, they gave her a big party. Just play. Y'all know how to play.
Vice Chair Green is so wise. They always say, if you watch any awards show, you always know the winner by who is in the audience. So since we was filled with constituents of District A, it was prophesized. Congratulations to you again.
Right.
Are there any more comments?
I want to say, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I want to say thank you to my colleagues, Councilwoman Bowman, congratulations. I believe that we probably had one of the best teachers, one of the best leaders in this city, our Councilwoman Joyce Bowman. May God rest her soul. As we set up under her tutelage, we learned so much from her. No, Mr. Mayor, I don't plan on firing anybody in the administrative office because y'all just hire them right back. So that doesn't make any sense. But what we have going forward in 2025 is that we have a number of projects of where we want to move this city forward. And so we intend to form those collaborative partnerships. We plan to work in conjunction with the mayor's office to ensure that we get this done. Because what is best for our districts will be best for the city of Shreveport. We want to grow our community. It is essential that we do that. So 50 Cent, manufacturing, streets, infrastructure, all of those things are important to Councilwoman Bowman and myself, as well as this council. So our full commitment to you is to continue to serve in this capacity as we have been doing. You will still call us, and we will still be right there, and we will still show up. Madam President, thank you so much. It's a historic day in the Caddo Commissioner, parliamentarian, Victor Thomas, both. I am proud of you. I am proud of us. I am proud of this council, and I am proud of the citizens of Shreveport, Louisiana. And I look forward to serving you as your chairman.
Do we need a parliamentary? Sounds good.
Okay. Councilwoman, the Vice Chair. Bowman.
I want to thank my colleagues for believing in me and voting for me today as your vice chairman, which is a very important role. I plan to stand on what's right. 2025 will be alive.
Okay.
We have 2 councilwomen that have Amazon plants in their district. That's big. We have a lot of other big things happening, so hey, stay tuned. 2025 be the year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we can get down to pictures. We need a motion to. We need a motion to accept the recommendation of the city attorney made during January 13, 2025 executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
It's been moved by former Vice Chair Green, second by Councilwoman, second by Councilman Talaferro. Let's vote.
Sound like Tom Talk. Former Mr. Chairman.
Don't go anywhere. We got a lot of pictures. If there's nothing else,
passed with 6.
If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
You ready?
For your pictures.